Hey everybody, welcome to the WrestleDude YouTube channel. Jacob as always here. Thank you for watching, and today we're going to be talking about WandaVision. Most specifically, we are going to be talking about Episode 2 and why it is my favorite one of the series. Now, how this video idea came about was I was thinking back on the entire series. You know, it was a fun series. It was really great, a lot of cool stuff. There was a couple moments where some people's fan theories very much got ahead of themselves, but I was trying to think. If I could just pick one episode to say which was my favorite episode, a lot of people would probably say the finale, just because, you know, it is the finale. A lot of people might say maybe it's the flashback episode. For me, I would say it is Episode 2. And I will tell you guys why as we go through the episode, kind of reminding you all what all happened in this episode, and I can point out some of the more specific things that I really liked about this episode and why I enjoy rewatching it. But before we get started, make sure you leave a thumbs up on the video and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Comment down below also if you enjoyed this episode, what was your favorite moment of this episode, and what was your favorite episode if it wasn't Episode 2, and let me know the reasons why in the comment section below. What would you want to see Wanda or the Scarlet Witch in next? There's obviously going to be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but is there anything you would like to see her pop up in before or after then? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, let's get started with what happens in Episode 2. So Episode 2 starts off with this whole setup of them in the bedroom, and like there's something banging against the window. Wanda gets scared about it. She turns on the lights on and off, and Vision ends up waking up too. This is a great opening like joke where Vision gets out of bed and immediately gets scared, jumps back into bed and hides. And then they end up opening the window, and it's just a tree branch that's like knocking against the house. It was very fun. And during this, Wanda like pulls the beds together, and this was something that I did not know, that like back in the day in like really old like TV shows like that, couples were not allowed to be pictured on screen in the same bed, which I did not know about until this episode, which was kind of interesting to find out. So that was a really cool setup. And then you have like a Vision and Wanda. Vision is the total winner of the MCU. I don't care what you want to say about Thanos or, what was it, guy from Civil War, Baron Zemo, I don't care. They might have won, but Vision won in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, he also lost. He lost his, Anyways, all that stuff happens, and we go to the intro, which is based off of Bewitched, which, seeing as I like this episode, makes me think maybe I should go back and watch some episodes of Bewitched. I've never watched that show, but since I liked this so much, I would probably end up liking that show, really. I mean, I watched some of the Golden Girls episodes. Those were very fun. And I think a couple episodes of Three's Company, too, as well. Those were very fun. But yeah, the whole setup for this episode basically is Wanda and Vision. Aren't they a fine pair? They're an unusual couple, you know. They're getting ready for this, like, city or town talent show, and their whole act is they're going to be magicians. There's going to be glamour and illusion, and then they're practicing one of their tricks, and they like pull out this case, and on it is like a cool like design of Vision's Mind Stone. So I thought that was a really cool visual detail. And yeah, they set all that up, you know, Wanda's outfit, big thumbs up. And Vision, his storyline through the episode, part one of the episode is he's going to go to the neighborhood watch and kind of check up on things after what happened with the tree branch late last night, which is a very cool like character development for the episode, because by the end of the series we find out it's not a real Vision, it's just one that's in Wanda's head. But even this vision from Wanda's head still cares about the safety of people, whether it be trying to join the Neighborhood Watch, or once he leaves the Hex in one of the later episodes when he's falling apart, he doesn't care about saving himself, he just tells them to save the people that are inside the Hex, which is really cool. I like that it even starts out here in episode 2, where he's just focused on keeping the people of the town safe, keeping his family safe, keeping Wanda safe, so I think that's a really cool thing that they added in there. And so Wanda, she, in part 1 of the episode, she goes to a meeting with Agnes, but before that, she ends up finding the in-color toy helicopter outside, which we end up finding out from a later episode was actually a drone that flew into the Hex and turned into the toy helicopter, but it still keeps its colors. It's a sword drone, it has the sword logo on the side, and before she can make sense of it, Agnes shows up with her pet rabbit, and then Agnes, you know, has the little back and forth with the Mailman, which, looking back on it now, people were wondering what was that little exchange between her and the Mailman. Looking back on it now, I feel like how she was kind of like looking at him like that as he was walking away, I feel like that was just Agnes appreciating how Wanda's keeping the spells going even when she's not around. Like, impressed that even when Wanda's not looking at the Mailman or in contact with the Mailman is still going on his routes, acting like nothing is even happening. So I think that's very cool, interesting detail to look back on this episode. And their whole first half storyline is going to this meeting with Dottie over the planning committee for the talent show. You know, we get Cheryl Dean introduced, we get the cool like tease of Mephisto where it's like the devil's in the details, and then Vision goes to the Neighborhood Watch, and this is where we get one of my favorite joke of the entire series. So he's talking to Neighborhood Watch, and they're basically talking about like how it's not actually Neighborhood Watch, it's really just kind of like a gossiping circle where they're just kind of talk about stuff. They talk about the fake bowling trophies and stuff like that, and Vision, and it's just a combination of how Paul Bettany delivers it, the music that's behind it, and the reactions afterwards. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away with it. I might get a copyright claim or a copyright strike or something like that, but I don't care. I'm going to play the joke for you right here.
I, too, have some top secret gossip to share. Norm here's a communist.
It is just all that combined, along with the absurdity of it and the delivery and how everyone reacts, how it seems like it's going to be a big thing, but then it just turns into all of them joking. It's a great freaking joke. There are a lot of great jokes in this one episode. There's one that comes up immediately after this where he offers him Big Red chewing gum, and they talk about, like, is gum food? And Vision says, like, it's purely used for mastication, but he thinks he's saying masturbation, which was a very funny line. And then he ends up swallowing the gum that gums up the works, literally, throughout the rest of the episode, and makes Vision act drunk. And so when they get to the talent show, things start to go a little wonky. But before that, we cut back to Wanda, who is with Dottie, cleaning up after the meeting. And then this is where things start to get a little creepy, sort of like Twilight Zone-y. So Wanda and Dottie are talking to each other, and Dottie's basically saying, like, I don't trust you and your husband in this town. And then all of a sudden the radio starts switching over, and we start hearing Jimmy Woo's voice talking through. And then all of a sudden Dottie, like, breaks out of her trance asking, like, Wanda, who are you? And then she breaks the glass. Red blood shows in the episode, and then all of a sudden Dottie just acts normal again, which, rewatching this episode, I watched this episode again, like, towards the end of the series, and that's when I was starting to think, oh my god, maybe Dottie is a witch too. But then that didn't end up happening. Yeah, that was a lot of cool stuff that happened. And then when we got to the talent show, there was some really cool stuff, especially with the whole setup of the talent show being Vision's drunk, and Wanda's trying to, like, reel him in, because Vision's trying to use his actual powers. So Wanda's trying to make all of his actual powers seem fake. You know, Vision flies, so he she makes a rope appear to make him look like he's like not flying, and then he lifts up the grand piano and Wanda turns it into like a cardboard cutout, and then all of a sudden you get that funny like one-liner from the guy, Dottie's husband, where he says like, "That was my grandmother's piano." Like, that was a very fun line delivery. And then we get the whole "is this your card" trick with him and Herb. It's Herb, right? Yeah, Herb. It's like, "Is this your card? Is this your card? Is this your card? Is this your card?" And then he finally gets the last one. He's like, "Yeah, that's my card." It's like, "Well, fine, have it back." And he's like, "You got it. You got the trick." He was like, "Of course I got the trick right. I'm an illusionist. Flourish!" I love how he just randomly says flourish like every time. It's very funny. It was a fun thing to keep coming back. And then Jimmy Woo says it later on towards the end of the series, which was very fun. And then at the end of it, like, Wanda helps Vision get the gum out of his throat. He acts fine. And then as they start to like sneak away, they win the talent show. Dottie says that they did great, and they win the talent show. They go back home, they celebrate, and they talk about, you know, like, for the children, you know, all throughout the episode, people are saying, like, for the children in that very creepy way. And then all of a sudden, Wanda's pregnant, which was actually set up from the beginning of the episode, where her and Vision, you know, hey, hey, ho, ho, let's go, down the sheets. But yeah, she's all of a sudden pregnant, and this is the tease of how her pregnancy is speeding up unnormally, because in the next episode she ends up having the kids. And then yeah, this is where we get one of the first instances of Wanda actually editing the show, when all of a sudden they start hearing another bang outside. They both go outside, and then the guy comes up through the sewer grates, the like beekeeper, and then Wanda just says no, and then it rewinds back to that moment before any of that happened, and then her and Vision kiss, and then the show starts to go into color. We start going into the next decade, and then the episode ends with Jimmy Woo's voice on the radio again asking, "Who's doing this to you?" And that's the end of the episode. It was a very fun episode. Lots of really cool stuff if you look at it in a vacuum. A lot of really cool teases, a lot of really cool like moments that happened, especially at the end of the episode where we get the first instance of her rewinding the episode. And, you know, I'm still wondering whatever happened to that beekeeper guy. I would assume he just got, like, shoved out of the reality the same way Monica ended up getting shoved out of the reality later on in the series. But, yeah, just in that moment you're kind of wondering, like, what happened to him when he got rewound? Because I know, like, we see later on how he gets in, but, I mean, if he gets pushed back out, like, through that pipe, that might be very painful. His elbows and knees might be banging against the frickin' pipes and stuff like that. It could be very painful. But, like I said, looking at it in a vacuum, that is why Episode 2 of WandaVision is my favorite. But let me know in the comment section below, what was your favorite episode of WandaVision? Was it Episode 2? Was it a different one? Let me know, and let me know why it was. Like, if you had to pick one thing from your episode that you liked, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys later.